So Paddy Pimblett was recently on a podcast and said that he beat Islam Makhachev in a fight. And then a month ago, he said that he beat Ilya in a fight. And people are all up in arms about this shit and stuff like that. Look, but yeah, look, Paddy Pimblett is an interesting case for me. When thinking about MMA and his career and where he'll go, it's interesting because he's not god awful, hasn't been fraud checked. He doesn't really have like a really, really sharp, blatant weapon that he can use against anybody in the division. Doesn't really have that. But like I said, he doesn't suck. He's not terrible. He's not losing. He finds ways to win. There are some things that are alarming, like his cardio and the way he cuts weight, because like he usually just walks around at like fucking 200 plus pounds, but yet somehow fucking finds a way to cut all of that before a fight. But yeah, the shock around him saying he beat Ilya and him saying that he beat Islam Makhachev. I would disagree with the Islam thing. I'll start with that. I think he obviously does not beat Islam Makhachev. On the feet or on the ground, wherever the fight goes, he loses that fight. The Ilya thing, however, does interest me. It does interest me. And you may fucking call me crazy off the fucking bat for what I'm about to say. Even from what I've already fucking said. You might say this guy is batshit insane. Because Ilya's got next level fucking power. Like I've said, he's like the fucking short German, Spanish, Georgian mixture thing of Francis Ngannou. He's a short little Francis Ngannou. He's got so much fucking power in them hands, especially for that division, that anybody who fights him gets their lights taken out. They just really can't survive the fucking punching power. Not even the guy with one of the most strongest chins in the fucking whole UFC, Max Holloway, was able to survive the punching power of Ilia Topuria. Because if Ilia lands on you 2 or 3 times, I'll push it to 4 or 5. If Ilya's able to land clean 4 or 5 times, it doesn't matter who the fuck you are. By that 5th time, you're going to be worn out, and he's going to clock you. On the 5th, he will crack you and you're out. That's really it. You cannot let Ilya land clean. Most of the time, you can't even let him land, partially clean. You really can't. Because if he clips you by fucking this much, you're gonna get your fucking lights taken out. You're just gonna go to sleep. You're gonna go to sleep. And I said Max would do that. I had Ilya the whole fucking time that Ilya Max fight was announced. I had Ilya, and I had Max before Max was gonna fight Gaethje, because I knew how gifted Max is. But Max takes punches as well. He's taken punches in these fights, so he's obviously gonna take a couple punches from Ilya, and he can't do that. You cannot do that against Ilya. You cannot be taking punches. You gotta constantly be fucking moving. Okay? You gotta move from the first bell to the fucking last. You gotta move. And Max was able to do that for a lot of that fight. But it comes to a point where you start eating shots. And like I said, you just don't do that against Ilya. But that's a fucking tangent off from the main topic, which is Paddy Pimblett. I think the fight would be interesting, and I think it's interesting because if it goes to the ground, a lot of people will say Ilya is so much better than fucking Paddy. I disagree. I think Paddy is a genius on the fucking ground. I really do. I think he's a gifted jiu-jitsu specialist. I think the ground game overall is really good. Maybe not so much the wrestling, but just the jiu-jitsu and the submissions and the grappling is very tight and smart with Paddy. So if Paddy were to be able to bring that fight to the ground, I think it would be competitive. I really do. On the feet, not at all. But there are ways to bring that fight to the ground if you need to. Max Holloway isn't known for fucking submitting guys and utilizing a lot of jiu-jitsu and grappling and shit like that. He's a boxer, at heart at least. But Paddy Pimblett, the guy's a submission artist. He really is. Striker, not so much. But if he's able to keep moving, work on that cardio a lot, and just search for those timely takedowns, trips, clench work, shit like that, to avoid getting hit, I think Paddy's got a chance. More so than a lot of other fighters that Ilia Topuria has fought. Because the other fighters that Ilia fought want to box with him. They want to strike with Ilia. They believe that they can somehow outclass Ilia on the feet. And I think Paddy is going to try to outclass him on the ground. But I know that's a lot of stuff I'm saying, a lot of uncertain things. But I'm just making this video to say that I like Paddy. I'm a fan. I like him saying this shit. It shows he's got balls, and I think what he's saying isn't really fucking wrong all the time. The shit he said about Islam is wrong. Islam would fucking play with the guy. But Ilia sometimes overreaches. Sometimes he gets a little bit too adamant and too hasty for the fucking knockout. He is patient, but if you drag the fight along, he does show frustration. He does show frustration. He does over-swing, over-commit to things. If you see that fight go fucking past 2, 3, 4, Ilia's going to show emotion, and he's going to show weakness. It may not be a fucking huge weakness, like his technique will go out or his power will vanish, but he'll show mental weakness. And that's where you can take the advantage. And that's where I think Paddy might take the advantage. Okay? I like Paddy. Not every fight from him has been fireworks, but he has shown smarts. He's shown great ground game. And I think he's got fucking big things in the works for the future. And I look forward to them happening. So, let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next.